And Richo, we move into the heart of the second day of the championships, don't we? Really interesting programming this year. The 4 Group 1s with the Arrow field in the middle of them, maybe wanting to get that Group 1 status. It's a good field this year, that's for sure and certain. So it's still the Oaks time, and when we think about the Oaks, the New Zealanders always play a big part, don't they?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see Ohope wins. Where it's fascinating with this horse, won the New Zealand Oaks and then had a change of stable, comes over to Chris Waller. So halfway through a program, that takes some doing. A little flat run, I thought, in the Vinery. I think it peaks today.
Let's catch up with what's been happening so far. We start on the track with Katie.
Royal Randwick has played beautifully today. We've seen a couple of leaders win on the fence and then a couple of horses slice through them and come down the middle. So I think they've turned out the track in beautiful order. Every horse is getting their chance, and grab the popcorn because the show is about to start with the Group 1s coming up.
And here are the rides for the Group 1s today. So I've got to say, your husband has got an incredible book of rides, hasn't he, Jeff?
Yeah, he sure does, Bruce. He's very confident about today. But obviously, with Autumn Glow, he's been looking forward to her all autumn to get to the Queen Elizabeth, which we'll get to see a little bit later. Tommy Berry's got a good book as well.
And James is trying to do something that nobody's done before. He's won 6 Group 1s on 6 Saturdays. No one's done the 7, so he started with Autumn Glow way back at the end of February. And then the next week it was Jolly Star and the Canterbury Stakes. So it was 2 for 2 at that stage. In the third week it was Lazura, another mare from the Chris Waller stable in that big run. And then this incredible Golden Slipper Day. Aliana, Autumn Boy, Autumn Glow. And then again in the Tanker with that heart stopper with Aliana against Dubai Honor. And then in the sires last weekend with Campione d'Italia and Jolly Star. He's going for 7 consecutive weeks on a Saturday. Never been done in Australian racing history. It's remarkable. And Richard, it's impossible to think he won't do it today.
Oh, 100%, Bruce. Those 4 rides in the Group 1s are befitting of someone of his elite talent, and he'll get an opportunity to showcase those skills today on board. I think the best horse in Australia, and she's got an opportunity to show that today.
She is the best horse in Australia, and she has the challenge today at the 2,000 metres. Lady Shenandoah, he gets on her really for the first time in his preparation. He loves that filly, we know that. Nash here as well. Let's have a look at his and listen to his entrance song. So Nash there. We're going to mark that, Jared, from the tab. What have you got for us, mate, on the Oaks?
Well, Bruce, the Vinery form or the Adrian Knox form? And Ohope wins out of the Vinery. Gee, the traders have kept her very safe in the betting. She opened 230, got to 250, back into 240 because there's been a lot of support for last week's winner, Profoundly. Opened 350, got to 320, now $3.40. Soverato, having got to $9, is into $7.50. After summer, opened $11, is now a $9 chance. And interestingly, the stablemate, 15 into 12, Classic Gem. Just about all the other fillies are getting out in the market. What are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.
As James McDonald gets ready to ride in the first Group 1 of the day on Ohope win, she was a month between runs in the Vinery. I'm guessing she's taken a fair bit of improvement from last start.
Yeah, for sure, she has.
Opened $11, is now a $9 chance. And interestingly, the stablemate, 15 into 12, Classic Gem. Just about all the other fillies are getting out in the market. What are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.
As James McDonald gets ready to ride in the first Group 1 of the day on Ohope win, she was a month between runs in the Vinery. I'm guessing she's taken a fair bit of improvement from last start.
Yeah, for sure, she has. And she was a devastating Oaks winner in New Zealand, so we're hoping that distance will suit, which it should, and she'll come into her own.
Good track, that'll be fine for her too.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it would. Probably a little bit of kick out, it wouldn't hurt, but we're presented with a good track, so she's got to deal with it.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Well, we saw her for the very first time here in Australia when she ran in the Vinery Stud Stakes, and she looked like she was going to appreciate getting over a longer trip, which she's the winner of the New Zealand Oaks. She's always, in my opinion, looked like a horse that will really appreciate stretching out this time around. She's got the fitness on her side. She's got a bit of bounce in her step as well, so she doesn't look as though she's getting tired, which is a really important part.
So a tick there for one of the favourites. Protested in the Vinery after summer, was strong late, was third in the Victoria Oaks.
Yeah, she was good there, wasn't she? She was really well on pace. She got left flat-footed around the bend, and then once she balanced up, she really was strong late. So I think Billy's best hope is to try and make this a staying test and go forward and make sure he sort of builds the momentum up, the revs up before the corner as we get down to look at one of the horses on the back up, Lizzie, with Profoundly.
Well, those blinkers going on last time out and stretching out to the 2000 proved the master stroke, and she was excellent in the Adrian Knox. We've seen the Adrian Knox used as a very important lead up into the Oaks, so she's coming through the right form references. It's just a case of how she's recovered and pulled up after that performance, and to me, she looks as though she's pretty much spot on. She's a lot more relaxed than she was last week, which I think will bode well for her.
So again, a tick from Lizzie. Silverado's got here pretty quickly, hasn't she? She was very good last week.
Yeah, she was. Another filly on the back up. And, yeah, she just sort of wandered around a little bit late, had a good look around, and she'll benefit from having that. She looks nice and bright and pep in her steps. So I think she's come through that really well, Bruce, so I give her a little chance.
Yeah, she looks well. She's a good filly. There's no question about that. I've always wanted this, and I never got it, Katie Longlegs, but how does it look?
Yeah, she's a really nice filly here for Gary Portelli and Natural Willer from Barrier 1. She's a Russian Revolution out of a Fastnet Rock mare, so she's bred to sprint, but she's going to test her over the 2400 metres here. She comes out of the Vinery Stud Stakes where she didn't have a lot of luck. As we look at Stand My Ground, another filly here, North Pacific out of a Smart Missile man.
And she's only had the 3 starts. She led last start. She was at long odds, and she will battle a bit. Down to Lizzie with Classic Gem here.
Lovely parade from this girl. She went absolutely super last time out. She comes through the Adrian Knox, which is a great form reference. We know that the Adrian Knox and, of course, the Vinery are 2 races that are very dominant as far as this Australian Oaks. But she looks magnificent. She's got a great coat on her. She's very much got that staying physique that I love to see. And I actually think she's probably come on from the last time I saw her.
So these fillies have come on from Lizzie here. So for WA viewers, now time to switch to 7. Big time in WA racing at the moment. If you've just joined us in WA, you've got the Derby over there today. Well, we've got this championships for you to enjoy as well. Have a look at these headline acts. I hope he wins about to go in the Australian Oaks. Mr. Monaco with Jamie Mellon going in the Sydney Cup. And then Autumn Glow and the Queen Elizabeth, and before her Pride of Jenny and the Queen of the Turf. An incredible lineup of racing. We're looking at the fillies in the mounting yard for the Oaks. Queen of Clubs, she hasn't really hit the mark this time in.
No, she hasn't, but we know she's got the talent. Last preparation, she showed that. So I prefer others in this race. I really want to see her produce her best, which we haven't seen this prep, as you said. So Tono, Invader, Richo's Ruffy here. I thought comes out of the Adrian Knox and ran really well at big odds behind Profoundly. So a horse that I feel will get the trip, and gee, looks really well on the quick backup.
She's got a good record. I see where Richo's coming from. I think she's on the rise this one. And the others are going to be at long odds here. La Mora, so she was 200 to 1. She can stay.
She can stay. That's from a good barrier. If she rolls forward, she'll give them something to catch. I loved her last start out of the Adrian Knox, and she looks really well presented here.
Rachel King's been riding up a storm, hasn't she, over the championships and over the last few weeks, but it would take something, I think, for Mountain Queen to win.
Yeah, it would. The winkers go on today for the first time, so that might sharpen her up a little bit. From a good barrier, she'll get a nice run in transit.
And Dance with Destiny hasn't run a place in her 4 starts today. She's bred to be a stayer, so I guess that's the one chance. You only get one real crack at an Oaks, so they've taken that chance.
That's right. John Sargent knows how to win an Oaks.
So we've had a look at them, Jared, as we go back to you for the market mover from the tab.
Yeah, really starting to crunch. I hope he wins here, Bruce. $2.50, its longest price, into $2.30.
Oh, hope he wins. You liked her, Lizzie, but which one is the pick of the yard?
Very much. I reckon this is a really, really good field this time around. Often when we get to Oaks, we see horses going a little bit backwards or not actually reaching their full potential when they parade. But I think that there's a few horses in this race that are going to be extremely competitive now and into the future. I'm going out wide. Classic Gem looked magnificent, has definitely improved from last time out. I'm really keen on how she paraded. Of course, the favourite, Oh Hope A Wins, looks great, runs the trip. We know that for a fact. So if it is a strongly run contest, Katie, you're going to be seeing her hit the line strongly.
So Dom Sutton with a couple of runners, and you've picked one as the pick of the yard. Let's have a look at our picks now, the Group 1s for today. So Hope Wins is 4 out of the 5. Emma's the one, she's sticking with the family. In the Sydney Cup, it's a mix, isn't it? Katie and I are the two that agree there. River of Stars has got to do something that hasn't been done since 1902. We'll check on that again with you, Richo. Queen of the Turf, well, Idle Flyer's favourite amongst our group, but again, a really big mix, and none of us, it would be un-Australian to pick against Autumn Glow. It's simple as that. And why would you? She's 11 for 11. So that's our way of looking at the Group 1s from 7 Racing. Can't remember what the tips were last week. I'm trying to... that's
well,
okay.
All I remember is a penguin dance, not a head wobble.
Richo, your thoughts about the Oaks?
Have a listen to Half Day Harry. I think a Hope Wins is the starting point for mine, and there she is on screen. Terrific win in the New Zealand Oaks, came over to Australia, and then a little settler, if you like, in the binary. She was a little one pace there. Where it's I think there's some really interesting betting possibilities right at the bottom, Katie. Some dead set stayers. One of them, Satono Invader, Lamora, who really hit the line in that Adrian Knox, and John Sargent. Don't rule out John Sargent with a filly by contributor at a trip to Paris's half sister who won an Ascot Gold Cup. Will stay the trip. 2.5 miles. And old Sarge is brilliant at doing this. It might be able to run into a mine of money at about 200 to 1.
You can come to me with that if you like.
Okay, sure.
He's a great trainer.
Thank you, Harry.
If she runs a place, there you go. Emma? Last you say, well flown, don't you? He's just isn't he? He is a glass 3/4 full. Don't you love him? That's what life's all about.
That's one of the worst jokes I've ever heard.
You laughed. You laughed.
Just listen to you two. Just because last week you got married on air, now you've already got divorced.
I saw a photo today that was quite disturbing. Don't worry if you haven't seen it. I think the New Zealand filly will win. I just think she'll be too strong over the last 100 metres.
Interesting the change, you, Katie and Lizzie, you in particular would know. To be trained by one trainer and then come halfway through a preparation and change trainers, as good as Chris Waller is, but he has to get a feeling of this horse.
I actually found it interesting that the Oaks over in New Zealand has changed to, so it used to be in Wellington, and now it run at Allesley for the first time. So Hope Wins comes through the Allesley, so they don't have to travel as much. So
that's interesting.
maybe, yeah.
And Wellesley run Sydney way and Wellington run Melbourne way, so again a little bit of a tick. But look, it's hard to do to win a couple of Oaks. We know that Treasure of the Moment did it last year in a very different way, didn't she? Winning in Melbourne and winning here. Look, it's got a funny history, this race. It stopped and started. It was the Adrian Knox at one stage and all of that. But it is the 115th running of this race, and it's a very, very good addition. Lizzie talked about these fillies on the up. Here's Darren Flindell for the first of the Group 1s on this really special day at Royal Randwick. You can feel the buzz in the air.
Down my ground completes the lineup, and we're ready to run. Light is on. Start up. Sends them off in the Australian Oaks. No speed at all by Queen of Clubs. Now wide out, profoundly being sent forward in the early stages from Lamora Mountain Queen, and Long Legs is not going to give up the fence without a fight. After Summer pushes through into 5th position early. Classic Gem right behind. Sovereigno takes a spot down on the rails. Stand My Ground is 3 wide in the early part. In advance of the favourite, I Hope He Wins. They're followed for the back by Satono Invader. And the last two, Queen of Clubs on the inside, a Dance with Destiny. So Long Legs push through on the inside, and Long Legs holds the front from the Ruffy Lamora, and another Ruffy Mountain Queen third. Profoundly after the good getaway is up running 4th and only 2.5 off the leader. Stand My Ground's off the course, moving up on the outside is Soverado, and After Summer between them. Then Satono Invader on the inside, a Classic Gem. I Hope He Wins has switched off nicely back in the field. The favourite is third last from Queen of Clubs, and Dance with Destiny's at the tail of the field. 1,400 metres to go. It's taken a while, but Stand My Ground has licked the field and now takes the lead, out by a length and a half. Lamora goes to second, and Long Legs races third on the inside. Then came Mountain Queen, who effectively is 1 out, 1 back. Profoundly now 5th and about 6 off the lead. Then Soverado After Summer is next, the outside and the red cap. Then Satono Invader. Classic Gem and the white cap is next in the running line, followed by Queen of Clubs. Now, I Hope He Wins is now second last and would be about 15 lengths off the leader. And the roughie Dance with Destiny last. So it's Stand My Ground, 800 to go. Leading the way by 2.5 lengths from Long Legs. Then came Lamora. Mountain Queen being roused along on the outside. The runs are starting a long way out. Profoundly just sits back in fifth, about 3 off the lead. Taking its time. Then came Soberado. After Summer, Classic Gem improves. Still third last is I Hope He Wins, but the field is starting to bunch up now. It's Stand My Ground, turning the corner in front of the Oaks. But here come the runs. Profoundly gets going. So does After Summer, the outside. Classic Gem. And I Hope He Wins in the white blinkers is winding up on the outside. Profoundly takes the lead at the 200. I Hope He Wins. She's looming ominously today. And I Hope He Wins moves up to Profoundly with After Summer fighting in the middle. I Hope He Wins gets a half on Profoundly and After Summer. And I Hope He Wins claims the Oaks double. I Hope He Wins a half length from either Profoundly or After Summer. Classic Gem running home into fourth, and they absolutely gap the rest. 10 lengths to Soberado, then Dance with Destiny, Stand My Ground, Mountain Queen, Queen of Clubs, Lamora, Satono Invader, Long Legs the leader, early, has finished last.
Can you believe it? 60 Group 1s between the pair of them now. 5 Oaks for Chris Waller, 3 for James McDonald. She was a long, long way back, but you knew she was travelling. But she had to fight hard, and now she's a dual Oaks winner.
She just has that staying prowess over a few of these other contenders in the field. I tell you what, there were some great runs in behind her, but none was better than hers. You're right, Bruce. Back in the field, circle the field. The pace was genuine enough for him to be able to angle out at the right time and build into the race. A massive performance from Profoundly. Classic Gem, also the Dom Sutton trained galloper as well in After Summer. All of them ran super, but she was just superior in the end. No one was able to come from us that far back as I Hope He Wins, and being able to run the 2400 is such a big asset.
Yeah, definitely, Lizzie. She just loved the 2400 metres, and she's just a real classy Ocean Park filly, and being ridden a lot quieter. The speed was on up front. We saw them take off early after even rolling along, and it just set the race up so beautifully for Profoundly, who gave a really good kick, Bruce, but off Profoundly's back was I Hope He Wins, and she was just too strong for them.
She was, and for Dom Sutton, 3rd and 4th, I mean, it's a huge effort, really,
Massive.
isn't it, for him?
Yeah, it really is. I mean, it's bittersweet. I mean, he's been... When I think about how many times he's been beaten by such a small margin in a Group 1, his first ever Group 1 runner, Feroce, ran second in a Group 1, and then he comes out and runs second in a binary stud stakes, and then he's run 3rd and 4th. Look, his time will come. He's placing his horse as well, but you can't take anything away from the winner. She was back last and circled the whole field to beat them all.
And what a job she's done in her first prep. So Caulfield Cup sort of screams at you for a filly like this, does it? 4-year-old mares, it's hard to do something. Even Eliana struggled last year. She was a 4-year-old mare. I said struggled. She was in high company. But you would think that Chris now, with all these wonderful mares, he can plot and plan, can't he? Richo, 60 between the pair of them.
It's quite remarkable, 60 Group 1s between the pair of you and James McDonald. So congratulations. Only the 4th filly to win a New Zealand Oaks, and that's a great achievement.
Yeah, well, I can't take all the credit. Obviously, I've been entrusted by Hugh Long, Mr. Jang, Sam Fairgrey, and all of their team. And yeah, Andrew Scott and Lance O'Sullivan did a great job with her prior to coming to me. Plus, they gave me a hand with her as well. So they were very friendly and very helpful, which I've got to thank them for.
Yeah, end of February, she won a New Zealand Oaks. She arrives with you. How hard is it to pick up the pieces with a filly who's just won a Group 1?
Not hard at all, because you know the horse is good enough. It was just about keeping it simple. Maybe we got it a little bit simple first up. I think she just needed the run. But speaking to Lance O'Sullivan, the confidence he had in her, like he said, he's one of the best horses that he's ever had to deal with. So it's a pretty big comment coming from Lance.
Yeah. And a special connection, that New Zealand connection for you?
Oh, we're Australian now. We're Australasians. We're all together, aren't we? We're all cousins, brothers. We fight together and we enjoy racing together. So yeah, no, it's a special for sure.
Congratulations, mate.
Thank you.
Big stuff there with the master trainer. So Tempted will be the overwhelming favourite. What a Randwick record she has. She goes in the next, the Arrowfield. $1 million race for the 3-year-old. She's one of a couple of fillies in the race that have got such a CV behind her. So placed in an Everest here She's won on this very day last year in the Percy side, so she's the one to beat. So 4 Group 1s, one of them's down, but 3 still to come. The time-honoured Sydney Cup with a fascinating field. The Queen of the Turf headed up by the mighty Pride of Jenny, and the Queen Elizabeth by the new star of Australian racing, the unbeaten Autumn Glow. All that coming up very shortly. So, Em, we're going to get down to you pretty shortly with Jay Mack. He's on the move again today with a race-to-race double, and that filly would have given him a really good field. She was so strong late, wasn't she?
Oh, no doubting that. What an amazing filly she is to be at the back of the field and just waiting and biding her time, and the pace was on. It's always the way, Bruce, when we say there'll be no speed in a race and then a few more go forward and inject a bit more tempo into it, which just allowed this gorgeous filly to become a dual Group 1 winner, a New Zealand Oaks winner, but also now an ATC Oaks winner, as James just cools down and gets ready to recap on what was a marvellous performance by a filly. Sitting back there, were you worried on the turn that she would have too much to do?
No, they went really quickly, so suited me down to the ground, to be honest with you. Obviously on paper it didn't look that way, but I always had a plan to ride it quiet, and I was blessed when the pace went on. It never stopped, so it was going to be the toughest stayer, and that's exactly what she was.
To be able to do that from across the Tasman to here in 8 starts, she must be made of tough stuff.
Yeah, she is, and it didn't go well last start because Rose Hill's slowly run race threw us out into the quicksand, so to speak, but she's gritty. She's very gritty filly, and look, she had enough on the line. The other 2 were brave, and it was lucky we were on a good horse.
24 today, I mean, going forward. Is that her ideal trip, do you think? We saw her not be as effective over the 2000 last start.
24 is a good number for her, but you never know. She, as they get stronger, some of them get quicker, so she might get quicker.
Race to race double, well done.